Hi everyone, welcome to Carmen's Australian Storytime. Today I am reading the book Jeremy, and the author is Chris Fail and the illustrator is Danny Snell. Now Danny Snell sometimes is the illustrator for Pamela Allen books, so keep your eye out for him. And can you guess what the animal is on the front cover? I wonder if this is Jeremy. Let's have a look at the blurb. When tiny Jeremy falls out of his nest and is brought home by the family cat, he is only a few days old. Luckily, Jeremy is a fighter, and as the weeks go by, he grows stronger and stronger until the time comes when he must say goodbye. I am super curious about this book, especially when I think about my knowledge of cats and how they like to eat birds. And yet, this cat brought this baby bird home. How do you look after a baby bird? I am looking forward to reading about Jeremy and finding out what it is like to have a baby bird for a pet. Can you tell what type of bird it is by looking at the front cover? I think Jeremy is the Australian Kookaburra. Last year, a pair of Kookaburras made a nest high in the big palm tree in our garden. Have you ever had a Kookaburra in your backyard? What do you think a Kookaburra nest looks like? Sometimes they will build their nests and other times they will use the hollow of the tree or a nesting box. Wiradjuri, Kookaburra, is the Aboriginal word from which we get our English word Kookaburra. Both words relate to the sound that comes out of a Kookaburra. Kookaburras are native to Australia but can also be found in New Guinea. Do you know what a Kookaburra sounds like? Can you make that sound? One night our cat brought a baby bird into the lounge room. It was very ugly, with a big beak, big bulgy closed eyes, and no feathers. It was a baby Kookaburra. Most baby animals are very cute, but baby birds are often wrinkly and ugly without their feathers. The cat looks very curious about this odd creature she has brought home. A Kookaburra will live for around 20 years. Imagine having the same pet for that long. They have beaks that can grow up to 10 centimeters long, and they have plain coloured feathers that blend into their surroundings so they are harder to spot. For more information, you can visit www.activewild.com. It must have fallen out of the nest in the palm tree. We couldn't put it back because the nest was too high. We put the baby bird in a box and kept it warm with a hot water bottle. We named it Jeremy. We were right, it was the bird on the front cover. Activate your prior knowledge. Why did the family put a hot water bottle and a teddy in the box for the baby bird? What do you think? What is the baby bird missing that it needs to survive? You are right. He needs feathers to keep warm. What else do you think he will need to survive? What is the difference between a need and a want? Jeremy loved to eat. We got some special food for baby Kookaburras and we fed him every 4 hours. He grew very quickly. After 1 week, Jeremy started to get little spiky feathers. His eyes were still closed. A need is something you must have to survive, and a want is something you can live without and you will still survive. Jeremy is a living thing, and so he needs what we need: food, shelter, water, clothing. The clothing is his feathers, and sunlight. It looks like a baby bird is always hungry, like a human baby. His feathers are already starting to grow as well. When Jeremy was 2 weeks old, he looked more like a bird. His feet were very big, and his spiky feathers were getting longer. Now his eyes were open, and he watched everything around him. He still ate lots of food. Wow, he has grown a lot in 2 weeks. He looks like a kookaburra now. Kookaburras take care of their family. If Jeremy was still in his nest, he would be sharing it with his older brother and sisters, who stay for around 4 years to help their mum and dad look after new babies that are born. Soon he had lots of real feathers, and he was much heavier. He loved to be cuddled, and he started to know his name. He always told us when it was time for more food by squawking loudly. Boy, did he squawk a lot. There is something else that living things need that we have not talked about yet. What does this page tell us that Jeremy loves? Cuddles! Scientists have studied animals all over the world, and it would appear that they have emotional needs just like us. I'm making a connection to my dog Willow, who absolutely loves and needs her cuddles every day. And if I dare to go away and leave her, she will hide under my parents' bed and will not come to me for a few hours. I think she might be sulking. Willow also comes to me and puts her paw up when she thinks it's dinner time. I am glad she doesn't squawk like Jeremy. Jeremy grew so fast that he was often tired. At night he liked to watch television, but he nearly always fell asleep. Sometimes he didn't want to go to bed. This page makes me laugh because he sounds like a human. Mr. Jones likes to watch television too, but he is always so tired he falls asleep on the couch. I also remember when my daughters were little that they often didn't want to go to bed and would try and stay up as long as possible. Do you sometimes do that too? Once Jeremy came to school with me for show and tell. Jeremy was so friendly that everyone wanted to take turns holding him. Jeremy really liked this. I have never had a pet kookaburra, but I can tell you that the ones in the wild are usually not friendly and just want to get your lunch and eat it. I have seen my friend lose a sandwich straight out of his hand from a kookaburra that had been sitting in the tree near our picnic table. Kookaburras are meat eaters, so I guess the salami hanging out of the sandwich was irresistible. Irresistible is when you just can't resist or stop yourself from having something that you really want. Jeremy's new feathers made him very itchy. By the time he was 4 weeks old, he looked just like a grown-up kookaburra, but smaller. Have you ever had a new haircut and the short hair makes you feel itchy until it grows a bit? I think that is what is happening to Jeremy. His new feathers are just not long enough yet, and they are making him itchy. We have 4 species of kookaburra, and a couple of those species get blue speckles on them. Jeremy is looking very cute now. He has definitely changed from when he was a baby. See if you can find a baby photo and then take a photo of yourself now. What has changed the most? Jeremy loved to watch the fish swimming in our fish tank. I wonder if he was thinking how nice they would be for lunch. Jeremy is probably very curious about the fish, and luckily he can't get into the tank, or I am thinking he would definitely try to eat them. What do you think? Do you think Jeremy will get tired of being in the house all the time? We have had to spend a lot of time in our houses at the moment. Do you like it when you get to go and do things outside? I sure do, and I'm very blessed that I can walk my dog and swim at the beach. What do you like to do outside? Can you draw a picture of it? Soon Jeremy wanted to fly. He practiced flapping his wings, but he could not get off the table. He would wear himself out, and then he would have a sleep. So my prediction was right. Jeremy is flapping those wings, and I don't know, but I think a bird learning to fly in my house would be a big problem. What do you think could happen? Can you think of a solution? When Jeremy started to fly properly, he crashed into the walls. It was time for him to be outside. He loved being in the backyard listening to the other birds. He was now 6 weeks old. You were right. Time to get Jeremy outside. But now I can think of another problem. What if Jeremy flies away? Why do you think Jeremy will stay close to home? What does he still need the family to give him? Food, of course. I think Jeremy might be a little afraid and nervous about being outside in the big world until he gets used to it. It's the same for us when we have to try something new, like going to school for the first time, or starting a new sport, or moving house, things like that. Over the next few days, Jeremy started to fly around a lot. The Willy Wagtails chased him everywhere. He always came back to the window when it was time to be fed. Yep, Jeremy never flew away because he knew where his home was and that he would always get fed there. Willy Wagtails are one of my favourite birds. I love how they wag their tails and they always look so happy. What kind of birds visit your house? Sometimes the birds are nice and you can feed them. Other times they are noisy and messy and they are a pain to have around. Jeremy is looking big now. What do you think is going to happen? The day before Christmas, Jeremy came to say goodbye. He landed on my shoulder and gave me a kiss. Then he flew up to the big gum tree in the backyard to sit with 2 other small Kookaburras. Perhaps they were his brother and sister. The time has come for Jeremy to find his own way in the world. When you grow up, you are going to do this too. It will be exciting and I'm sure a little scary, but Jeremy already has some Kookaburras ready to help him. I definitely think this could be his brother and sister after what we have learned about Kookaburras. It would be hard to say goodbye after raising Jeremy all the way from a baby. At sunset, the 3 Kookaburras flew away together. That was the last time we saw Jeremy. Have you ever had to say goodbye to someone special? It is a very hard thing to do, especially if you will never see them again. Sometimes it helps to talk about it and remember all the good and fun things about them. I'm sure that family loved to see Jeremy fly away with other Kookaburras. We were so glad that Jeremy had grown up to be a beautiful, healthy Kookaburra and that he had found his family. Jeremy has found his true family. I wonder if he ever went back to visit the family. What do you think happened to Jeremy? Can you complete the dot to dot? Draw a picture and write about what you think Jeremy is doing now. Thank you for joining me today as we read the book Jeremy, written by Chris Fail and illustrated by Danny Smell. I hope you enjoyed learning about Kookaburras and what you could do if you ever have to look after a baby bird. Don't forget to click and subscribe, and I look forward to our next reading adventure.